Yeah, do you have any thoughts on that, Tyler? Just the transition, especially without having a full spring where he's live action?
Yeah, it certainly would help if he would have been able to go against the Iowa defense in the spring. He's going to get to go up against a lot of those guys in some of the out of season, what they call skills and drills in the summer, and then obviously during camp. So in Iowa, I just saw some guy that actually ranks these teams and does a lot of this stuff on Twitter, has Iowa as like the 10th best defense coming into this year, right? So that as your opponent, that as your welcome to the Division I level or the FBS level is plenty for him to see that in camp, see that in summer, those kinds of athletes. And I would argue as well that there are a lot of the teams that he was playing, a lot of the difference of what football is at certain levels is the line play.
Yeah,
he's playing a lot of these DBs that he played against in the FCS level are quality guys that probably just got overlooked or somehow didn't find themselves at the FBS level. The counterpoint to that is that he's going against those guys, but now he also has a team full of Division I Iowa Hawkeye tight ends and running backs and linemen and receivers that all increase the speed and increase the value of what he can do and maybe open up potential. So does that just counter him going against the Division I level now that he has 10 Division I FBS guys on his side as well? I tend to think that there's just not a lot there. If he comes out and against Albany and certainly against Iowa State, Indiana early in the season, and he looks bad, that's going to be the thing. Is wow, this guy just.
If he comes out against Iowa State and looks bad, they're probably going to lose.
Well, they're certainly going to lose, but then the entire narrative is going to be okay, this guy was great at the FCS level, but it's just this is different.
Be sure you check out Maya the Malamute, A Spark of Courage. Really great book from a huge Hawkeye fan, Jeff Knight, and his courageous dog. Great story. Maya now visiting children over in the Children's Hospital above Kinnick Stadium. It's a really cool story, so you can check all of that out over at mayathemalamute.com. The bottom line, and James, you've heard me talk about this, that's the best conference in the FCS. And so they're playing the best teams at that level. They've been competitive. I mean, we saw them. I know that South Dakota State offense wasn't great. They came in and challenged Iowa a couple of years ago, but that was an Iowa team that went 10-2. They came into Kinnick and gave them everything they could handle. They did play Oklahoma State last year. South Dakota State did. Competed okay. I think that game was in Stillwater. Lost to North Dakota State in the FCS semifinals. I do think some people underestimate how close the best teams in the FCS are to even some of the mediocre to average teams in the FBS. And that's why you've seen some of the best teams in the FCS, namely North Dakota State, South Dakota State, UNI, Montana State, challenge and even beat FBS teams. It doesn't happen maybe as much as you'd think it does, but a lot of that's because teams in the FBS don't want to play those teams. So I think that he had good players at South Dakota State relative to his competition, but they were also going up against good teams. Those are good teams in the FCS, in the Missouri Valley.
It's not that I'm saying he can't do it either. I have faith he can do it. I just see a lot of people saying that. But I also kind of wish maybe we started off with a better game, obviously, than Albany, because, maybe for him it's a little too easy, and then you have to go up against a defense like Iowa State in week 2, right? And you're playing a defense that's not very good in week 1, right? And then you get into that sucker punch of okay, things are going good, but obviously we're playing Albany, right? And then you go and have to play a Big 12 squad after that. So I kind of wish we would have kept the FAU game a little bit, just because not FAU is not great either, but it's still a little bit better of DB's better secondary than what you probably playing against Albany.
Yeah. Well, Gronowski's not like Tyler said, he's gonna get camp, but
Camp's gonna be more valuable to him than the Albany game.
Yeah.
But there is a facet of getting out there in front of 70,000, right? Like you can still kick some rust off the shoes against Albany, right? I mean, it's not
absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's he can kick the rust off of that in-game live environment that you can't get in practice, but as a relative to like going against the talent, the speed, the break timing that a good to great secondary would look like, something that would prepare you for Iowa State, that's going to come from the camp side of things. And hopefully the combination of those two things leading up into that Iowa State week is enough. It sounds like more than any of this, he's a gamer. Like he's just that guy. And I think when you're walking into Jack Trice Stadium in the Cy-Hawk rivalry, especially with the pedigree that he carries, he's won more games than most guys have ever even been on a roster for. So I think that carries more weight than can he do it at this level? Can he not? That is going to be the question. That's the fun thing for people to talk about, especially the detractors. Like, oh, but can he do it at the next level? Yeah, I mean, nobody knows until they go out there. But the coaching staff sure thought so.
There is something comforting, and Tyler, I don't know if you agree with this, but to me, there's something comforting in knowing that even though Hank Brown wasn't great when he started for Auburn, and, Jeremy Hecklinski's still young, but he was, a nice recruit for Wake Forest at the time, and the Warren Ruggiero connection, and Jackson Stratton started against Maryland last year. There's something comforting in knowing that they have several guys who have started major college football games. So I'm not saying you're going to have a quick trigger on pulling a guy like Gronowski, but
yeah,
I think 2 years ago, that game in Jack Trice with Cade, and Cade was not healthy, but they didn't have any other options. And so,
I mean, when it comes to depth, we're just so, I mean, even last year we're rolling with Brendan Sullivan and then Jackson Stratton, and like after Stratton actually started that game, and you're going into the last few games, but then we had the Cade snafu, whatever. You're sitting there and you're thinking like, wow, we're in such better shape. We actually have a second string, and like you said, you're right. Like now we have like 3 or 4 guys where you might actually feel comfortable throwing them out there. You obviously don't want that to be the case. Like I don't want to see anybody else but Gronowski, and I want it to go perfect all year.